Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday to all of you. This video I will start in a way that I have never started any video before, and that is why I have to be very honest with you. When I bring certain topics and record the videos about it, it affects my energy and it affects my spirit, and I know it also affects you who are watching this. However, there are certain historical events that we just simply cannot forget. And I will be bringing you the topic about that in the second part of this video. But I decided to start with a very different topic, and that is with tennis. And the reason for it is because I want to lift up the energy, have something to be proud of and celebrate. And actually, I want to mention my father, who in the last 3 years of his life, we had rebuilt our relationship, and we had a very special relationship at the end of his life, who was absolutely proud of this Polish tennis player. Some of you already know, if you are following tennis and you like to play tennis or watch tennis. Most people like to watch, but they don't play. Iga Świątek has won Wimbledon. And why I'm bringing this up? Because entire Poland is so proud of her, even though there are people who don't play tennis, or like I said, they don't really know much about the rules. But she's a Polish tennis player, incredible, great player. And my father, for the last few years of his life, was every time she was winning something, she was bringing home another statue, another victory. He was reporting to me right away, "Did you know that Iga just won this and that?" So I could see how excited he was, and I'm sure he was watching this from heaven and absolutely proud of her. So let's just start in a different way today, everyone. I hope you're okay with this. We have so much politics all the time that this will uplift our spirit just for a moment.
Game, 7 match, Shriata. 2 sets to love, 6 love, 6 love.
Iga conquers the grass and becomes a Wimbledon champion.
Bravo, Iga. Amazing, amazing, fantastic players. So she's 24 years old. And just before we move away from tennis, guys, did you know, I looked it up, I was curious how many Polish women actually won Wimbledon. And I think there were 3. One of them was Jadwiga Jędrzejczak. I'm not sure about her last name, but her first name was, I think, Jadwiga. And she won Wimbledon, guess when? 1937, so just 2 years before World War II. I hope we're not going to draw any comparison as far as what's going to happen in 2 years from now. Hopefully not that replay again. But congratulations, Iga. I know my father is watching you from heaven and absolutely proud of you. So guys, let's stay in Poland, even though that was in UK, but in Wimbledon, of course. Now let's go to Poland. Let me show you this incredible statue that this month has been erected in Poland. And who is this? This is Archangel Michael. Why I'm talking about it? Because I have another statue to present to you just after this one. But let me read you what is this. So Poland erects 6-meter tall statue of Saint Michael. This is actually my protector as well. It's my favorite archangel. And why they have done this? Well, let's read this. Residents of the Bieszczady Mountains in southeastern Poland unveiled a 6-meter statue of Saint Michael, the Archangel, entrusting their region to his protection. The decision followed the installation of nearby demonic sculpture that raised concerns among local Catholics. I have to tell you, I don't know what kind of demonic sculpture was there, but Archangel Michael, that's a good choice. Very, very cool. I'm liking this. Let's balance the evil with good. That's the way to go, right? More archangels, please. Now, let me take you guys to the topic that it's not easy for me to talk about, but I feel I have to talk about, because if we don't talk about, then people forget. And if they forget, especially before there is exhumation of the bodies of the victims, that's not a good thing. I'm going to talk about the genocide in Wołyń. And I will not give you all the details because I have done it. And especially 2 years ago, I have recorded a video and I was in Moscow at the time, I remember, July 11th. And I think actually NATO decided to have a summit that starts exactly on July 11th. I mean, surprise, surprise, right? I remember I lit a candle in one of the churches, Orthodox churches, but doesn't matter. One God, one good, same evil, right? So I lit the candle in remembrance of those victims. And it's not easy topic for me to talk about, especially when you hear the details, how those crimes have been committed. So what I decided to do today for you is to show you an incredible statue that has been created to remember Wołyń and that genocide. The numbers of Polish people that have been killed, Wikipedia says, I think 120,000. Some other sources say 200,000. Some others say even over 300,000 Polish people have been killed by the Ukrainian army, Nazi army, right? Horrific story. I'm going to show you this incredible statue. This is from a year ago when it was just placed in this location. And then I will take you to a speech of our president-elect Karol Nawrocki, who is requesting exhumation of the victims that still has not been done from the Ukrainian side. But in that speech, he's not only talking about Wołyń and the genocide, he's also talking about the Russian Federation. So I will play his speech for you from the event that took place 2 days ago to present to you his approach both to Wołyń, to Ukraine, and also to the Russian Federation. And you draw your own conclusion from that. So let me play you this video here, and I'm not going to give you a sound. I'm just going to present you the statue and read you from the subtitles. What is this about? It's incredible statue that has been put into place on July 14th last year. Domosława is the name of the location of the place. And this is dedicated to the victims of the Wołyń massacre, genocide. So the author of this is Andrzej Tyński. Now, let me just one moment. Let me tell you who is, it will tell you who is the sponsor of it, the founder. Okay, the founder is the Association of Polish Veterans in America. Now it tells you in what places it was originally meant to stand, but 14 meters high, and the weight is 14 tons. The form of the statue is a powerful eagle symbolizing Poland with a cut-out cross. You can see the cross right here as I'm using the cursor right here. With a cut-out cross in the center, which there is a trident, you see right here, Ukrainian trident. This is, of course, a child. That's how they were killing those children, one of the ways. The coat of arms of Ukraine, on which a child is impaled, I think that's how I will say it. At the base of the monument, there is a scene of family standing. You see, they are still revealing this, so this is still almost completely revealed. This is the family standing right on the bottom of this statue, and the flames, the fire flames here, because they were escaping the fire. They were trying to escape, but many didn't. Standing in the flame, which refers to the brutal murders committed by the Ukrainian insurgent army of Poles, just because they were Poles, by the way. And it was all planned, okay? All planned and put into action. On the eagle's wings, so on both sides of eagle wings, are placed the names of the towns in which these tragic events took place. So that's how it looks like. It's incredible statue, so beautiful. It's painful to look at, but it says so much. I mean, it says so much. So this was done a year ago. Now we had the anniversary 2 days ago. I didn't talk about it because, like I said, it's not easy to talk about this, guys. And our president-elect Karol Nawrocki made a speech. Now I'm going to play you the speech. You have the subtitles there. I know they are small, but you can zoom it. You can make the screen bigger and read it. If you watch it on TV, it's large enough. So let me play this, what he said. He's talking about that genocide. He's talking about relations with Ukraine, what he's demanding. And as far as exhumation of the bodies of the victims, because they still don't have the cross, they still don't have the place of rest. 82 years later. But we support Ukraine, right? And then he's talking about the Russian Federation. And I would like to know what you think to expect from his presidency. There are some very good things that I expect for Poland, but there are some statements that we see how this goes. Let me play this for you.
Zbrodnia ludobójstwa wołyńskiego jest częścią naszej narodowej, wspólnotowej, polskiej świadomości. Także dziś w XXI wieku, bowiem wiele ran jeszcze się nie zagoiło i wiele rodzin wciąż cierpi traumę tego, co wydarzyło się 82 lata temu. Była to bowiem zbrodnia okrutna. Zbrodnia okrutna od samego początku, od lutego 1943 roku, od Parośni, przez krwawą niedzielę 11 lipca roku 1943, aż do roku 1945, do Przemyśla i do innych miejscowości po roku 1945 była to wciąż zbrodnia okrutna. Okrutne metody stosowali ukraińscy nacjonaliści, chcąc wymordować Polaków tylko dlatego, że byli Polakami. W wyniku tego okrucieństwa życie zakończyło około 120 000 naszych rodaków. 1500 miejscowości zginęło z mapy świata. Jedna z takich miejscowości pokazuje skalę tego okrucieństwa, choć ta skala powtarzała się we wszystkich miejscowościach. To Aleksandrówka, gdzie na 94 ofiary 25 z nich było dziećmi.
Before I continue, he said that there were about 120,000 victims. Like I said before, I played you this speech of his. Some sources report there were 200,000. I even found over 300,000 victims. He said that 1,500 villages have completely disappeared after that genocide. And he's mentioning one particular one in which 94 people have been killed. Let me see, I forgot how many children, 21 I think he said. 25 of which, so 94 victims, 25 of which were children. So let's continue with his speech.
Dziećmi 4-miesięcznymi, 14-letnimi, mordowanymi w sposób okrutny. Ta zbrodnia jest też w naszej narodowej, wspólnotowej świadomości i boli nas bardzo, bo była to zbrodnia sąsiedzka. Zbrodnia wykonana na swoich sąsiadach, z którymi mieszkało się i żyło przez dekady. Była to zbrodnia zaplanowana, ale też zbrodnia rabunkowa. Tak, my Polacy mamy prawo do tego, aby pamiętać o ludobójstwie wołyńskim, niezależnie od zmieniających się czasów i okoliczności. I będziemy pamiętać. Nie ma bowiem, moi drodzy, moi rodacy, szanowny panie ambasadorze i drodzy państwo, nie ma narodów wybranych do przeżywania swojej historii, swojego bólu i swojego cierpienia. Nie ma narodów wybranych do przeżywania swojego cierpienia z przeszłości, z dziś, z teraźniejszości i nawet z przyszłości. Nie możemy zgodzić się na to, że odmawia się nam, Polakom, prawa do pochowania ofiar ludobójstwa wołyńskiego, bo nie o zemstę oni wołają. Wołają o krzyż, wołają o grób, wołają o pamięć. I jako przyszły prezydent Polski jestem zobowiązany mówić ich głosem. Nikt mnie z tego nie zwolnił. My już, drodzy państwo, jesteśmy takim narodem, że gdy czasem czy rządowi, czy politykom brakuje odwagi do tego, aby mówić prawdę, aby podnosić prawdę, to znajdują się tacy społecznicy, jak choćby w Domostawie, aby pokazać, jak wyglądała ta zbrodnia. To znajdują się tak odważni i pracowici samorządowcy jak prezydent Jakub Banaszek i samorządy takie jak Chełm, które o prawdę się biją. To są takie instytucje jak Instytut Pamięci Narodowej, który dochowując wierności naszym rodakom podnosił zawsze sprawę ofiar ludobójstwa wołyńskiego i dochodził prawdy i sprawiedliwości. Dlatego z wielkim uznaniem dziś spoglądam na pana prezydenta Banaszka, na wszystkich współpracowników pana prezydenta, na wszystkich mieszkańców Chełma. Dziękuję parlamentarzystom z rządu Zjednoczonej Prawicy.
Okay, so let me move this a little bit further. In that part, he is talking about the Russian Federation, and I really want to play this for you guys.
Aby uleczyć raz na zawsze za sprawą ekshumacji nasze wzajemne relacje, bo mamy to samo zagrożenie, a tym zagrożeniem jest neoimperialna, postsowiecka Federacja Rosyjska.
So he just said that we have to heal our differences with Ukraine, right? As far as the exhumation of those victims, because we are facing the same threat, and that is post-Soviet, neo-imperial Russian Federation.
Dlatego, szanowni państwo, tak ważny jest ten drugi wymiar tej inwestycji. to Centrum Prawdy i Pojednania imienia prezydenta Lecha Kaczyńskiego, wspaniałego, wybitnego prezydenta, wrócić się do ekscelencji i do prezydenta Zełenskiego o możliwość podjęcia pełnoskalowych ekshumacji na Wołyniu. Polacy czekają na tą prawdę, a ludzie, polskie rodziny i rodziny wołyńskie wciąż cierpią w związku z traumą, która wydarzyła się 82 lata temu. Musimy to zrobić dla naszych relacji. Musimy to zrobić po to, aby Polska i Ukraina pojednały się tak naprawdę i za sprawą prawdy, która jest nam bardzo potrzebna, bo zagrożenie, które jest na wschodzie i które wszyscy oglądamy, jest zbyt potężne i zbyt poważne. I odpowiedzialność po stronie.
All right, so let me read what he said because this is important here. Let me mute him. He's talking to Zelensky to take care of this, right? This exhumation and to really unite Poland with Ukraine in that, because we desperately need it, because the threat that is in the east and that we are all seeing is too powerful and too serious, and responsibility on the part of Ukraine, and the responsibility that Poles face today is great. Mr. Ambassador, he's talking to Ambassador of Ukraine. I am asking you as President-elect to begin full exhumation in Wołyń. Ladies and gentlemen, at the very end, I want to convince all of you today. On this occasion, I would like to convince you all that independence, sovereignty, and freedom are a great responsibility. This is a great responsibility not only of the president, but of all of us. It's a great responsibility. And this responsibility, on the one hand, there is a disagreement, and I would even say contempt for Ukrainian nationalists who murdered women and children. And in this same responsibility, there is contempt for the soldiers of the Russian Federation who are murdering in Ukraine today. Yes, freedom, sovereignty, and responsibility. It is an opportunity to speak with your own voice on difficult and most important matters. Poland deserved its independence, and the Polish president, and as a Polish president, will speak with the voice of free Poles. Honor and glory to the victims of the Wołyń genocide. Long live free Poland. Thank you. So that's what he said. And clearly, we all know his stand on the genocide in Wołyń. As far as his stand on the Russian Federation, we also know where he stands on that. But time will tell how things will go, because sooner or later, there will be an agreement. Sooner or later, there will be peace. I know it's hard to believe when we look at these current events now, but it will come to that moment. It always comes to this moment. And then we see how the narrative will change. For now, this is the approach. We have to remember those victims. I don't want to go into details because they are horrific details. Do your own research and you can find a lot of documentaries about that genocide. That's all I have for you today. No, that's not all I have for you today. I have one more video, guys, for you today. Sorry, a little bit not too focused today. It's Sunday, but I came across this video that is really moving. is with the veteran in the UK. And I want to play it for you because this presents a story of a man who is one of many, of thousands, if not millions, of veterans, of those who were fighting in the army, different armies all around the world. And what is their fate? What is their future? And he says it exactly how they feel, how the governments are using us, people, just as a flesh. Like I said, imagine they say there is a war and nobody shows up. Let me play this man who ended up on the streets and who was fighting before, I think in the British Army. True story. We should not participate in any wars, that's my opinion.
Did you become homeless?
I served in the army for 10 years. My Land Rover hit IED, got medically discharged, and I ended up in a psychiatric unit. And from there, I ended up on the streets.
Why do you think there's so many people that go from the army and they end up on the streets? Why do you think that is?
When you come out, the world's not the same anymore. The world's a different place. Some of us have PTSD, and some people can't be indoors because they feel confined. I still have flashbacks. Seen people blown into pieces. I shot a 50-year-old boy in the head for pointing an AK-47 at me. I still see faces.
How come no one is helping you? Why is it that you're allowed to just stay out here on the street? How come they're just leaving you out here?
The baseline, remember, angers me. It totally angers me. You know?
How did you become homeless?
I served in the army.
Do you realize how many men in the world are like him in his position? Humanity, wake up, right? Wake up. That's what they are doing to us, and people are still justifying this and that. Another war, another war, another war. I don't care what country. War, it's war. End of story. That's all I have for you today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I will attach the links down below in the description box. If you have watched all this video to the end, I really appreciate it. If you can hit thumbs up, it means a lot to me. Thank you for everyone who joins me on Patreon, locals, or supports me on PayPal. I really appreciate it. And I will be mentioning your names in the coming week. To those of you who have Instagram, follow me there. The link is also down below. And with this being said, guys, lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. I see you in another video. Bye, everyone.